You are watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. And welcome to Bob Walker Stadium, home to the Arkansas Razorbacks, where the premium seating and left goes quick. Get that front row seat. Arkansas, the number 3 overall seed in the field, starts its tournament today against the Summit League champs. That's the North Dakota State Bison. 64 teams in the field. Here is our regional pod. Winner of this game would then face the winner of our contest later today, Kansas and Creighton. Double elimination format. Everyone trying to march their way to a regional final. And so welcome upstairs. Welcome to Fayetteville. That is the coach, Bobby Miranda, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So this Arkansas team, Bobby, quite simply one of the best teams in the nation all year. 43 wins, finished second in the SEC. A lot of folks think they can get back to Omaha. It's certainly the goal of this team. Are they strong enough to do it this year?
We always hear adversity is preparation for greatness. That's what Coach Dave Van Horn is looking for from his Razorbacks this year. Can they win it here this weekend and win it all? Fitzy, I think they can win this whole tournament starting today.
A really well-balanced and deep team. The Supernova, though, in their order this season is the SEC Player of the Year, Vahiva Aloy.
Everyone's All-American, top 10 in the SEC and everything. Golden Spike semifinalist, big power everywhere in this lineup for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, the Hawaiian leading the way with 18 homers. Now, meanwhile, for the Summit League champs, Jake Schaffner has been the most reliable and dependable bat in the order. Bobby, he's first in the league in some pretty important categories.
Hits in 15 of his last 16 games, hitting .434 in that stretch, .384 overall. He's the catalyst, playing shortstop, very clutch, hitting almost .400 with runners in scoring position.
We get this regional round started in Fayetteville. NDSU and the Hogs, they go head-to-head. Coming up next. This is Tyler Oaks' lineup card, their third ever NCAA tournament. At the top, Jake Schaffner, we mentioned before, 84 hits, led the Summit League. And so this is who NDSU faces today. Redshirt sophomore from Elk Grove, California. That's Aiden Jimenez making his second straight start on the big stage.
Yeah, Jimenez, an elite strike thrower, throws it in there at a high clip, only averaging less than 2 walks per 9. The standard is 3. Power bowling ball sinker. Look for this thing. It'll bore down, hard to elevate, and a lot of ground balls today for the Razorbacks from him.
He started a couple of weeks ago in their regular season finale series against Tennessee, and so for the first time in a couple of weeks, he is back on the mound. At Baum Walker Stadium, quite simply one of the better home field advantages in the SEC. A full crowd, packed house to get this regional round started.
Beautiful place, beautiful day. Gotta love this time of the year, Fitzy. This is awesome.
About 75 degrees at first pitch here. And you see the bright skies. First of 2 games, double elimination format here in the regional round. And away we go. Jimenez there, perhaps a little amped up.
Wow, let it fly. 95, big man, right there.
Well, Bobby,
to the backstop.
He faces a batting order here with a whole lot of left-hand hitters. He'll face 5 right out of the chute. 1 other lefty and a switch hitter at the bottom of Tyler Oaks' order.
Yeah, 7 of 9 today. Very unique in a college lineup to have that many left-handed hitters.
North Dakota State team that is back in the regional round for a 3rd time. 2 wins against the #1 overall seed in the Summit Tourney field last week, Oral Roberts. That's how they punched their ticket to the tournament. And so a favorable count to Jake Schaffner, as we mentioned before, arguably the most productive hitter in the Summit League.
Yeah, he's been the catalyst all year, more consistent than anyone in the lineup.
And Jimenez finds the outside corner. You see 94 on the gun there. So Jeff Gosney, pardon me, is the home plate umpire. Ken Fitzover at first. Travis Carlson's the second base umpire. Greg Charles at third. 3-1 on the way. And that one's off the plate. So it's a leadoff walk for Schaffner. Brings up the freshman Dante Smith. It's been 2 weeks, Bobby, since Jimenez has thrown. Remember, Arkansas only played 1 game last week in the SEC tournament. They lost that quarterfinal game to Ole Miss. Jimenez has logged 30-plus innings. As you outlined, he has been reliable.
Amazing right there, because he is a strike thrower. He only has 7 walks on the season and leads this game off with an early base on balls.
Yeah, really impressive walk rate.
Something that Coach Van Horn told us yesterday. He's going to throw it in there and make North Dakota State earn it. You got to put the ball in play, and a leadoff walk is definitely something.
Smith might have bunted that one off of his front foot, so that's foul, and so the count's quickly 0-2.
A leadoff walk is definitely something that's not characteristic right there for Jimenez. Jacked up, you know, started the tournament right here. That's what happens sometimes. Got to get settled in there.
First season in the Arkansas uniform. Hasn't pitched in a couple of weeks. Steady right-hander, though, is ahead of Dante Smith. That's the freshman. Tries to move the runner over with the 2 strikes. And that time, Reese Robinette was able to scramble back to the base. So they get the out. Schaffner moves into scoring position.
Yeah, Coach Tyler Oaks talked to us about their offensive philosophy. They're going to move runners, manufacture, bunt, steal, hit and run, stuff like that. Power's not really in their game. So this is a common theme right here, trying to score first for the Bison.
Davis Hamilton, that .314 average, second best on the team behind Schaffner. North Dakota State from Fargo. They're now in this regional round for a 2nd time in 5 years. They won the Summit League in 21. First time with Tyler Oaks guiding the program in his 4th season as the boss. They have always been competitive and always near the top of the Summit League the last few years. For the Bison, it's all about winning that tournament. That's what they did last week in Omaha.
Hamilton here has been hot, hitting .381 in the last 2 weeks. Almost a 400 clip.
Yeah, there is the former Minnesota Golden Gopher. Spent nearly a decade as an assistant, pitching coach, associate head coach before getting the job ahead of the 22 season. And you're right, Hamilton, the junior, has been a very productive bat for the 38-year-old. Counts 3 balls and a strike, though.
Crowd wanted that one.
Yeah.
Just a bit inside from our vantage point.
.3-1 is slashed foul, so Hamilton will see another.
Yeah, Tyler Oakes doing a tremendous job, his 4th year for the Bison, and the son of a prominent pitching coach at Minnesota, Todd Oakes.
Payoff, that drops in for a called 3rd strike. 2 gone, and Jimenez has his first punch out.
Big out right there. Off-speed pitch, breaking ball with some depth to the zone and a 3-ball count. It's called a cross count right there, and froze Hamilton.
And so he bounces back here with a couple of outs after the leadoff walk. Again, just his 8th walk in now a little more than 35 innings. Sam Canton is the leadoff, or cleanup hitter, pardon me.
Canton has a lot of pop, been kind of cool in the last 2 weeks, hitting .167. Can leave anywhere in the yard. Probably most power on the team.
Senior, veteran, 2-year starter here for the Bison. Swings at the 0-1, lines that into left, and it's down for a base hit. Danvilon has to play it on a hop, and North Dakota State plates a 1st inning run.
Big statement right there by North Dakota State. Canton taking a fastball out over the plate, up in the zone. Watch it right here. Ball's up and out over the plate, stays inside the baseball. That's where the RBIs live, to the backside, through the middle. You'll watch it throughout this tournament. Good hitters hit the ball through the middle to the backside with men in scoring position.
Now it's Colton Becker, runner on the go. Throw down to second is on target. Ryder Helfrich retires the side. Catches Canton trying to swipe second, but it's the Summit champs that played a 1st inning run, 1-0. So Sam Canton played a Jake Schaffner in the 1st inning, and the Summit champs have the early 1-0 lead. So Dave Van Horn's Hogs are going to hit for the first time. This is his lineup card. Charles Davlon there, all-conference selection. Led the SEC this year with 83 hits. Bobby, it is a well-rounded, balanced, electric offense.
Powerful offense, littered with athletes and high draft picks. I mean, this is a college coach's dream lineup right here. Going to be tough to navigate today for any opponent they're playing.
So here's Nolan Johnson, redshirt junior from suburban Minneapolis. He has pitched in a number of SEC parks this year. Bobby is on the big stage here, facing one of the best offenses in the league. What should we expect from him?
Old school toughness. What I mean by that, he had 2 starts in the Summit championship. I mean, he started the first game and the championship game.
3 days later.
That doesn't happen these days. It does not happen. And loves his changeup in any count. Will throw it in any count. It's a very good pitch.
The Summit League Pitcher of the Year. Bobby is on the mound here with a 1-0 lead. And for the Bison, got to feel really good. But here's the tough part now, dealing with this Arkansas offense. Charles Davalon, sophomore from Montreal. He's been so reliable at the top of the order. An obvious all-conference first-team selection. Takes that on the inside edge for a strike.
Johnson's been a strike thrower. 2.29 walks per 9. The standard is 3, as I mentioned earlier. So he'll throw it in there and make you earn it.
Bobby, this is his 16th start. In a lot of ways, this has been the breakout year for the redshirt junior. Missed a lot of time last year with an injury. Pitched well. Came back this season very healthy, a lot stronger. And won the Pitcher of the Year honor.
Been impressed with his mindset, watching him on video. Really attacks hitters in the strike zone.
2-1 from the lefty. That one's at the knees for a strike. Strikeout to walk rate for Johnson, second best in the league. And you can see the career high 77 strikeouts. That was also number 2. Impressive stuff. Trying to put away Davalon. That one's a little low and away.
Gotta love left-handers that throw strikes and compete and have some toughness about them.
It was a fantastic first start, as you mentioned, in that Summit Tournament opener. So 1-0 win in extras. He went 7 shutout and started the game tournament clincher. 3-2 to the left side. A lot of ground that Schaffner has to cover, and the throw is late. So leadoff base hit for Davalon.
Little semi-shift right there, so had to go to the backside, away from the throw, not enough on it. Too much speed right there. Davalon running down the line.
It's a great effort by the shortstop Schaffner. So here is the SEC Player of the Year. Swaggering shortstop Vahiva Aloy, as dangerous as they get at the plate. Second year, Bobby, in that Hogs uniform. Started at Sacramento State, hits the portal, joins Arkansas ahead of last season. He was good this year. His game went to a whole nother level. Really impressive numbers.
Yeah, tremendous athlete and talent. Interesting, though, 1 home run in his last 12 games. That shocks me.
You're saying he's due?
Yes. A lot of power. Top 4% Oppo power. Look for that in the whole country.
And so he is one of those 25 semifinalists in play for the Golden Spikes Award. Well, there's a big hit. Davalon heads to third, gets the stop sign. Throw to second is late, and Aloy has got a first inning double.
On cue, talked about his Oppo power. A lot of extra base hits to the backside. There's a pitch up and out over the plate at the belt. He knows what to do with it. Flat swing to the backside, driven into the corner. Easy pickings right there for the Hawaiian.
Now, there is always just an anticipation when he steps into the box. And he delivers in his first at-bat. Here's the 3-hitter. That's Logan Maxwell from Lima, Ohio. Senior fouls that one back. Also hit around 350 this year. Led Arkansas on base percentage. And the first-year Hog starter has just been terrific.
Something to look for here. He dominates left-handed pitching. A .415 average versus lefties.
What explains that reverse split when you see it sometimes?
Just a really good approach. It's TTM through the middle to the backside. Doesn't come off the ball, which means try to pull the ball. So right now he's going to stay through the middle, try to get his RBIs. Left center is the mindset.
So Arkansas trying to answer the the Bison here with a first inning score as well. That one was stung into the seats.
Now, when I say left center is the mindset, that means you still can pull the baseball, Fitzy. You just want to have your chest and your shoulders on the ball as long as possible. If you pull the ball, you pull it in the air and you drive it.
Davalon at third. You've got Aloy in scoring position at second. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maxwell's been very hot, too. 3 multi-hit games in his last 4.
Arkansas has been steady, consistent all year long. 2-2 out to the gap in left center. That time Becker had it lined up, makes the catch. So Arkansas does answer North Dakota State's first inning score, knotted up at 1.
That's excellent team offense right there. We talked about him going middle to the backside. He gets his RBI with a sac line drive, basically, and good team baseball.
One of the best offenses, not just in the SEC, but across the nation as well. Basically a top 20 offense across the board. This year was the home run ball. A program record, 110 homers. They can manufacture runs in a lot of ways. Ryder Helfrich drives it well foul down the line.
And Ryder's been hot, 423 in his last 7 games. This is a real dude right here. Moved him up to the 4 hole, was in the 5 hole in the SEC tournament. Super athletic. Coach Van Horn says he might be the best catcher he's ever coached.
It's impressive, just a sophomore.
Yeah, watch him run. If he's running around the bases or going down the line, he can fly for a catcher.
Well, there is the longtime boss. 2+ decades now in Fayetteville. And there you go, 21 out of 22. Remember, no tournament in 2020. So he has guided Arkansas to all but 1 of the last 22 NCAA tournaments.
Wow.
We're going to run out of room at some point.
That's a lot of paint.
Two-1 coming. So a favorable count coming here to Helfrich. Bobby, we talked about it. Feels like they certainly have a strong enough team to get back to Omaha for the first time in 3 years. Runners up 2018. That is the ultimate goal for everybody on this roster. It's popped up foul behind the plate. Talked to a couple of players yesterday. It's just that a major drive and determination.
Look at that right there.
To get there. And win it, as you can see here.
Consistently. Consistent winner. Can they not only take care of today, obviously, the regional, super regional, can they take care of business, get to Omaha, and then win it all in 2025?
Is this playable for the catcher, Gordon? He's lost it. And that one winds up skimming the net. So Gordon lost it in the sun. Was not going to have a play anyway. That one was very close. It skimmed the netting just outside the first base dugout. So it's a full count to Helfrich. Aloy still at second with 1 gone. Johnson trying to get it out here. Popped up. Very similar spot. Does Gordon have it tracked? This one should get into the dugout. That's foul.
One thing to look at this weekend, Fitzy, is these 3-ball counts. The national average this year is a .630 on-base percentage in a 3-ball count. You get too many 3-ball counts, you get a lot of traffic on the bases. You want to avoid those at all costs.
What a day to start this regional.
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
As they typically are at Baum-Walker Stadium, Hog fans are out in full force. Let's do another 3-2. Helfrich gets underneath this one. Towards the line. This is Becker. Leaps. Becker makes the catch. Aloy tags and moves to third. So Becker, some New outfield ground. He has to patrol out there. Had just enough space.
Nice play right there to stay with it. Drifting toward the wall. Got the fans right there. Great effort. I like Aloy getting aggressive, taking an extra 90. Now you're a BID, ball and dirt away from scoring.
BID, by the way, that might be my new favorite. TTM.
We got TTM, we got BID, we got them all. We'll go through them all throughout the weekend.
Foul ground, as you saw, it's tight down there in the corners. So Vahiva's little brother, Kuhio Aloy, now steps in. Aloy transferred into the program, or Vahiva that is, ahead of last season. Little brother joins him ahead of this year after one season at BYU. Counts 0-2. Big rip that time by the sophomore. Growing up in Hawaii, it's a great throwback look.
That is awesome. That is awesome right there.
They represent their home state so dearly. There's Hawaiian flags all over this yard this season and last year. 0-2. That's in the air down the line. No chance for Erlob. That's foul.
It's been interesting. 133 average in the last 2 weeks. Been a little cold. But he does lead the team with 69 RBI, so he was hot going into the last 2 weeks.
And the table is set again. Vahiva's over at third. Johnson trying to get out of this. 0-2 is slashed away. So each team with a first inning run. Maxwell scored it for Arkansas. Canton played it a run for the Bison in the top half. Tried to tell you, the folks in Fayetteville, they have taken on the Hawaiian identity and spirit.
Look at that.
We may need to borrow a couple of those. We got to get some up here. 1-2 is down in the dirt.
We may need to get out to Hawaii someday.
Yeah, I think so. If only to not have to face the criticism of our director.
Exactly.
Burger.
He's experienced.
We were admonished for not making a trip out. 2-2. That one is a little low. Ooh. So the count does go full.
That was close right there. Another 3-ball count.
And it's going to be 30 pitches here in this first inning for Nolan Johnson. Can still get out of it with just 1 run's damage. Payoff. It's a little low, so the inning continues for Arkansas.
Great at bat right there. Great at bat.
You know, it's not just the big hits for Arkansas. That right there is the example of just how well-rounded the offense is. Top 10 of the nation in homers, but also on base percentage. The walk rate is very high. Dave Van Horn has acknowledged many times this year, this is definitely the strongest team he's had in a little while here. Number 6 hitter is Cam Kojal. He's been at second base since Nolan Souza went down with the injury earlier this year.
And this is a big moment right here. Kojal, he has been very clutch throughout the season. 56 RBIs, 426 with runners in scoring position.
That is ripped through the right side. It's a base hit. Aloy scores, and Arkansas swings in front. Couple of first inning runs.
We talked about his clutch gene. He smokes this ball almost 100 miles an hour in the 4-hole for a big 2-out RBI. It's all about 2-strike hitting and 2-out hitting talking about scoring baseball runs. It happens all the time. You get 2 strikes on you 50% of the time, so you better be good at it. You're going to have 2 outs a lot. With men in scoring position, it's huge.
First pitch to Brent Iredale. Lifts this one to shallow right. So that does it for the Hogs in the first, but they do get 2. Maxwell and Kozel each played a run. 1 inning gone for Fayetteville. It was a really spirited run for NDSU last week in Omaha, Summit League tournament. So, Bobby, they win the first couple of games. And one of those wins, they sent the #1 overall seed Oral Roberts to the elimination side of that 4-team bracket. Ultimately beat the #1 seed to clinch the tournament title just a couple of days later. So they get the job done, win their 3rd Summit League championship, and back in this regional round for the 2nd time in 5 years. It's Aiden Jimenez back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bison. Colton Becker on the left side of the plate. Great finish to the year for the Bison.
Yeah, and took down Oral Roberts. That's a team that was in Omaha recently. It's a proud program down there. In Oklahoma.
Yeah, not an easy team to beat twice in a matter of a couple of days. Becker launches this one deep out to right. Becker goes yard. Colton Becker ties it up. Wow.
Becker's 6th of the year. 99 exit velo. Ball really carried. Watch it right here. It's a breaking ball. Stays up in the strike zone. Becker got the head out. Drove it just barely over that 365, 367.
Just
marker.
Gets out of here.
Yes,
yeah.
barely.
First pitch swinging. Noah Gordon bounces that one to Aloy. Little low throw, but there's one gone here. So North Dakota State with a couple of early runs against the redshirt sophomore from outside of Sacramento. That's Aiden Jimenez. So this Bison offense, or this Bison team, I should say, very much known for their strong pitching staff. They get a couple of early runs in this opening round game in the regional, which is so pivotal, as we all know. This is Blake Timmons. Takes that one wide.
Something to think about moving forward. That ball was not even hit 100 miles an hour, and it left the yard. So the ball is definitely carrying today.
Yeah.
Less than 100 miles an hour, and it goes out. Barely went out, but it did make it. And you can't defend the ball over the wall. Just don't have anybody back there catching the baseball, do you? It's the best play in baseball.
Yeah. North Dakota State, of course, everybody familiar with the prominent football program, Fargo, North Dakota. They only played 12 home games. That's pretty typical amount of home games to play each year. playing a lot of teams, cold weather areas of the country. But they have been in this sort of an environment many times this season and year after year. 2-1 pitch to Timmons. That one falls in for a strike.
Number one non-strength of schedule in this tournament.
Non-conference.
Non-conference,
yeah.
right. Strength of schedule.
They played a series at Alabama, played in Baton Rouge earlier this year as well. Looks like that time Helfrich caught it cleanly, so that's the second out, the second strikeout rather for Jimenez. 2 gone after the Becker blast.
It's a tight breaking ball right there. Good pitch down in the strike zone. The breaking ball that went out was up in the strike zone, and that ball left the yard. That ball's down. That's a chase. Good pitch.
Alex Erlob takes that one in tight. Again, so for Jimenez, first time on the mound in 2 weeks. His last outing was his first start of the season against Tennessee. It's foul tipped into the mitt. It really was one of only 2 shaky outings for Jimenez. He's got as many as 4 1/3 in a game this year for Arkansas. Hasn't thrown more than 60 pitches, though, in any game. It's off the outside edge.
Yeah,
Has been very reliable.
Hybrid,
yes.
Opener, starter, reliever, kind of a utility pitcher for them. Throws strikes.
Dave Van Horn, he was very tactful as well. Shortly after that, he had a little rocky start against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. He's in the clubhouse one day, looks at Jimenez and says, hey, you got the ball to start the regional next week.
Yeah, didn't care who we're playing.
Yep.
You have the baseball.
So Jimenez had the understanding here that he was going to be on the mound to kick off this road to Omaha. You can see the numbers and how he's fared against lefties and righties. This is a lefty-heavy lineup.
Right, and the issue is there's 7 left-hand hitters in the Bison lineup today. So that's a good matchup right there for North Dakota State, obviously, to see the baseball with over a 5 ERA.
So it's a 2-out walk for North Dakota State. Again, only 7 walks issued by Jimenez in 35 innings coming in. He's walked 2 batters here in the early goings. Well, we've had some early action. 2-2 here in the second. Each team with some offense early on. This is the senior from Tucson, Luis Garcia, true switch hitter, and the 9-hole here for North Dakota State.
I think that's interesting is Jimenez had only, I said this earlier, walked 7 batters all year. Faced 142 hitters and walked 7. He's already walked 2 today.
Yeah, really good walk rate. Remember, Jimenez spent his first 2 seasons at Oregon State. Hit the portal, transferred to Arkansas ahead of this year. High chop, that is over Robinette's head, and it's down the line. So Erlob heads to third. He's getting the wave. Here's the throw, and then a stop sign. Late stop sign, as that one was played in very quickly by Maxwell in right. And boy, Erlob would have been in trouble had he continued rounding third.
They call this back in the day the Baltimore chop. Chopped straight down in the ground. Hard, late in the year field. You know, so it's warmer out here now, and the ball just jumps right over the head of the first baseman. You're first and third. Schaffner gets an intentional walk.
They just intentionally walked arguably the most productive hitter in the Summit League. So Schaffner is at first. Dante Smith, the freshman, at the plate with the bases loaded here.
I get it.
This is a big moment for the Bison.
And Schaffner's been their guy.
Now Smith, remember an inning ago, he dropped down the sacrifice bunt. That moved the runner over. Dante Smith, fantastic freshman season, landed on the all-conference team. Got an opportunity here to give his team big early lead, 1-0. That's foul down the line.
So when you're in the Razorback dugout right now, here's why you made that decision. Schaffner hitting .368 in the last 2 weeks. Smith hitting .278. Schaffner hitting almost 400 with runners in scoring position. Smith hitting 300. Just playing the odds right here.
Check swing, just off the outside edge. Bobby, we just started to dive into it a couple of moments ago. This first game in a regional.
Yes.
Safe to say, pretty pivotal here.
I would
the
say
outcome of this one. Yep, on Friday. Well, remember, double elimination format. It's very simple. You can take one loss, a second one ends your season. And you play, of course, to the regional final. 2-2. Cut at and missed, and the inning is over. Jimenez strands the bases loaded. Emotional back to the dugout halfway through the second. Field of 64 announced a couple of days ago. Regional round getting started today. Here's some headlines this season as this baseball tournament gets going. 75 years in Omaha. That Texas team won the first in Omaha in 1950. And the question is, will we have a repeat national champ? The SEC dominated the field. 13 teams were announced a couple of days ago on that selection show. And we've got one of the stars in the field right here in Fayetteville. Vahiva Aloy has been one of the more entertaining, exciting players, not just to the SEC, but around the nation all season long. We start the second. Reese Robinette at the plate. Fouled off the first pitch from Nolan Johnson. That time gets him to take a big rip at that pitch up in the zone. So the count's 0-2. 8, 9, and 1 Bobby due up for Arkansas here in the second. Every team starting their march, potential march to Omaha today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of competitive games across the country already today, and another one right here.
One interesting final score already in the early afternoon today. We mentioned the 13 SEC teams in the field. Florida losing to ECU earlier. And that time Johnson has missed up in the zone twice here. Bobby, that speaks to the point we brought up before. It is vital to win this first game and get a leg up, if you will, and play in that battle of the winners on Saturday. Count goes full to Robinette. That's the 8-hitter from Kennett, Missouri. The key is you want to get to that regional final on Sunday with 2 wins and have to force someone to beat you twice on Sunday in order to advance.
That's the best formula for sure.
So Justin Thomas hits next with a runner on. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus and also the ESPN app. Go to ncaa.com for more information. Get up-to-date scores who wins, who heads to the elimination side of brackets. 64 teams. By tomorrow night, we'll have it whittled down to 32, weather permitting, and then down to 16 by Sunday or Monday. This is the 9-hitter, Justin Thomas Jr. He is one of the many very productive first-year starters in this lineup. Thomas had a great season at a junior college last year. Really strong numbers, first season of the SEC.
Hitting .343 against left-handed pitching this season.
So Johnson's got a pitch with a runner on here, nobody out. Faced 7 hitters in the bottom half of the first. Arkansas scored 2.
There's been a lot of traffic already in this baseball game. Those leadoff walks are big inning potential innings.
Well, surprisingly, it's the Bison that have got the first home run on the board, by the way. Thomas, in front of the plate. This is a good one. Will be a close play. They got him at first, so he does move the runner over. Really nicely handled that time by Johnson.
Excellent PFP right there by Johnson. Watch him get around this ball, step over it as a left-handed pitcher. Watch right here. Put his foot in the ground and make a strong throw to first. That's a well-coached, well-designed athletic play there by Johnson.
And as a lefty, you know, your momentum more often than not kind of carries you towards that third base side. So you had a little extra beat on that one. Back to the top of the order. This is Charles Davalon. Swing, that one's fading into center. Canton has to play it on a hop. Gets it in quickly. Runner stops at third. Canton that time had to shield his eyes from the sun, which is high above home plate. 2 runners on now for the Hogs.
Yeah, just softly hit, a little bit of a jam job on a fastball up and in. Canton couldn't get there.
Vahiva Aloy doubled his first time up. Really impressive numbers. Taking his game to another level this year, not just at the plate, but defensively as well. That is a mighty cut at the 90-mile-an-hour heat. Counts nothing in 1.
He owns left-handed pitching in 2025. 450 average, 817 slug, 1.3 OPS. All top 3% in the nation.
Special player. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Well, in all those categories, he was top 10 in the SEC in everything. Was 18 homers, 5th best. And we talked to some of his teammates that he certainly carries himself with a great deal of confidence.
Definitely looks the part too, I'll tell you that. That's what a big leaguer looks like right there when they get in the box.
6'3".
Looks like
200
Fernando
pounds.
Tatis.
Yeah.
That's my comp for him this weekend.
That's a good one. Swings, lifts it. That is a towering fly. Enough room here for Becker. So Aloy just gets underneath it. Robinette tags. And Arkansas's up 3-2. That's mishandled by the NDSU fielder. And so Davalon gets to second.
Just didn't secure that baseball on a potential relay throw there, and the extra 90 was taken. Love that. Razorbacks have been aggressive on the bases. They've had 2 extra 90s, sac fly and now an air, where their hustle plays.
Logan Maxwell up for a second time. It's up high, and so Gordon wants a quick word with Johnson. It was Maxwell who plated that first inning run, or the first run for Arkansas an inning ago.
Yeah, with a great left center approach. Another left-handed hitter that loves hitting off left-handed pitching at a 4.18 clip now.
What a really good season for the first-year Hog. Remember, he was at TCU, played here a couple of seasons ago, and said, boy, that's a nice atmosphere. So when he hit the portal and there was interest from the Arkansas side, no-brainer. Maxwell, though, gets underneath it. Inning is over. Arkansas gets the run. End of 2.
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska, home of the College World Series.
'Cause here I come, I wear it all on my sleeve, so everything you see shows you where I'm from.
Bolts back and makes the catch! Somehow hung on! Back-to-back jacks!
More, can you believe it?
Oh, the Madness returns to Omaha June 13th. No better place to be that time of year.
Greatest show on dirt.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Only 8 teams get there, Bobby, as you know. You've been there a number of times. There's a first pitch out there for Aiden Jimenez. Davis Hamilton is retired. So Dave Van Horn, one of the best coaches in the nation there, you see, 87 NCAA tournament wins. That is second most without winning a national championship.
Yeah. Second
Second only to the legend Mike Martin.
11 at the top of that list.
So we can read into that a number of ways. He said, hey, Dave Van Horn coached teams. They play a lot of games in this tournament, and specifically in Omaha. He's guided Arkansas there 7 times. They have the other side of the coin is they have been so close on so many occasions. This is Sam Canton, by the way, cleanup hitter. And the 1-0, that one's a little tight.
In talking to him yesterday, what he liked about this club that's different than clubs in the past, these guys want to play in this tournament. They love playing baseball. And that's a big deal. People don't understand, you know, sometimes with the draft and the agents and the transfer, all this stuff, this is a club that's tight, that wants to be in this tournament and wants to make a run as far as possible.
And if I hear what you're saying, we can put it this way. There are a lot of high draft picks.
Can get in the way sometimes.
In that Arkansas dugout. And players have the awareness, as you mentioned. Folks around the program have that awareness.
Well, there's a lot of noise out there, right? And this team doesn't really care about that. They just want to play baseball and get after it.
It was really eye-opening when we sat down with a couple of Arkansas players, Zach Root, Logan Maxwell, a couple of them yesterday. The message seems pretty universal in that clubhouse this year. There is a legitimate drive and determination to achieve the overall goal. And that is not just to get to Omaha, but finally break through and win it.
No doubt.
Jimenez trying to put away Canton. Check swing. I don't think he offered. They appeal down to third, and so that is another walk. 1 out base runner for the Bison.
That's a really good at-bat right there, and another walk, his third already in this contest. This is a guy that throws it in there at a high rate.
Are you a little more of a little more soft serve or
I'm a little more
shaved ice
soft
guy?
serve.
Yeah.
I like Andy's down the street. Andy's down the street. Had to visit it the other day. It's fantastic.
You went there?
Oh yeah.
Boy, you left us in the dust there on the way to Andy's. I get it. We got to go at some point then.
I told the crew we're gonna go.
know.
We're definitely gonna go. It's right down the street. Literally, you can almost walk there.
Colton Becker went yard an inning ago. Was over the right field wall. That put NDSU, or I should say that tied the score at the time. Arkansas swung back in front in the home half. Fantastic park in the SEC.
As good as he gets right here.
Just simply put, yep. Facility is terrific. They always sell out. 10, 11,000 strong for just about every game here. That one's bounced into the right field, into right. And Becker's got himself another base hit. So, pair of Bison are aboard with one out in the third.
Perfectly placed in the 4-hole, and that's what you want. With left-handed hitters and a man on first base, the only time you can kind of get around a ball and get rewarded for it. That first baseman's tight to the bag, and you got a big hole over there.
Good piece of hitting. Noah Gordon to step in. So Jimenez, he struck out 3 hitters, but he's about to throw his 50th pitch of the afternoon. Gordon bounces it. Another high chop handled by Iredell. Cross the diamond. Double play. And the inning is over. A big third baseman, Brent Iredell, with the snag and the double play.
Iredell just tall enough right here. Look at him, he's playing in. It's off with some good vert and a strong throw to first base. Huge double play right there for the Razorbacks.
The Hogs with the 1-run advantage, home third about to begin. You know what's neat in this matchup? You got the Razorback logo scattered about, of course, the merchandise shop. Are there 2 more unmistakable logos than the 2 North Dakota State, the Bison logo? That's a good one. How about a leadoff bunt single for Ryder Helfrich, the catcher in the cleanup slot? He's got himself a leadoff base hit.
We talked about Ryder being an amazing athlete. Executes the push bunt. Old school push bunt right here. He has all kinds of skills. Look at that. It's in that Bermuda Triangle. What do? Do you go for the ball? Do you go for... Boy, once he gets past that left-handed pitcher, it's a base hit.
That's one thing you outlined before. It's not just his prowess behind the plate. He's very good at stealing some strikes here and there. The bat and the offensive ability has come alive this year. But you think that X-factor component, as Aloy takes a pitch outside, is that athleticism?
Oh, no doubt. Dave Van Horn has been very impressed with his skill set at a high level. It's going to be a high draft pick. out of this program next year.
Didn't play too much last year. Took over as a full-time starter behind the plate this year and has thrived. And so Kuhio Aloy now has a favorable count.
When you look at those bunts to start innings, those are what you call big inning bunts, potentially. You watch right here. This is a potential big inning. It's like a leadoff walk. Well, they just bunted on me to start in the inning. Good momentum changer right here.
Johnson finds the zone that time. So the Summit League Pitcher of the Year. Dealing with a runner, the leadoff runner, on in the third straight inning. And slapped foul. Tyler Oaks' team within a run. Remember, we will talk to the head man. That's the 38-year-old from right outside of Minneapolis.
Looking forward to it.
What a year for his club. They spent the first couple of months away from home. Bobby, pretty much exclusively. The first home game wasn't until late March. This one stung out to right. Chases Maxwell, or pardon me, Smith all the way back. That's the first out. Just enough yard for the first out in the third. Cam Kojal bats next.
Just a little bit off the end of the bat. 90 off the barrel. Just missed it.
Well, everybody for Arkansas, except the hitters that have walked, they have put the ball into play. Johnson has not struck anybody out yet. Kojal knocked in the first run for the Hogs in that opening inning. That one at the letters for a called first strike. This is, remember, just the third ever meeting between these programs. Last time they played, Dave Van Horn was in that Arkansas dugout. He was playing in the game, though.
1982.
The one season he spent with the Hogs. So it's the unique matchup here that we have not seen in 40-plus years.
Great coach right there. One of the best. One of the best to ever do it.
There goes the runner. Pitch is high. Throw down to second. And that time he beat the throw. Helfrich gets in. So there's a stolen base for Helfrich after the bunt single. The catcher's in scoring position.
Like I mentioned earlier, athlete. Look at him run. I mean, he has a great gait. That's a catcher in the SEC right there. He's just so athletic. Had that base stolen. It's a great throw. Just outran the ball.
So Kojal now with a chance to knock in a run. A foul tips that one back to the screen. So Johnson's got his pitch now. 1-2. That's down and away. By the way, you want to see the we got the box score, by the way.
Look at that.
The last matchup featuring these two teams right here in Fayetteville. Dave Van Horn, nice stay at the plate, knocked in a run.
It's like a double dip right there, right? Look at that.
That's right. It was the
Two
double.
games.
That's right. Doubleheader on
Yeah.
March 17th. Yep. Productive day at the plate there for Coach Van Horn, especially in the second game. 2 Arkansas wins.
Scrappy.
Over at George Cole Field, the old ballpark here.
Look at
in
this.
Fayetteville. Newcomer of the year in '82. Was in the Braves organization for several years after his college playing days were done. Payoff is slashed into right center. This one chases Canton back off the base of the wall. Kojal brings in a run. Here's the throw to the plate, and he's safe. Helfrich scores. It's 4-2.
Well, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I think we were all shocked at the way that he runs.
happening standing up?
That
If he had a
makes
bad jump on that ball, if he waited and thought it was going to be caught. Let's take a look right here.
Partner.
Is he going back? Let's see what he's doing here on the bases. Yeah, he was going back. Made a late decision. That ball's off the wall. He's scoring easy. The technique on that is you just hang and hang and hang, and you're about halfway. You could even be 3/4 to third base, and you'll easily walk home and score. Or if he catches the ball, makes a great play, you can get back to second.
You know, and that was a great throw from Jake Schaffner on the cutoff there to get it to the plate. Certainly made it a play. Brent Iredale flew out to right in the first inning.
Yeah, because especially with 1 out, you want to hang on that play because you're going to get to third with 2 outs. The primary goal is to score on anything that's hit off the wall easily. So it's a hang, read, score.
So Arkansas dodges a bullet. And it's built a 2-run lead in the third. Quite simply, one of the best teams in America all year, Bobby. Top 10 all season long, just about every poll. Remember, they ascended to #1 in the nation for a very brief moment earlier this year. Maybe the most emphatic series wins in the SEC was the sweep of #2 overall seed Texas. Wait, there's more. They swept Vanderbilt, the #1 overall seed as well. So, yeah, pretty impressive sweeps throughout the season. Never swept in any of their SEC series losses as well.
And as Coach was saying, Coach Van Horn was saying yesterday to us, the SEC is just a beatdown week after week. Loaded league.
There's nothing that you see at this stage of the season that you have not seen already before.
Look at that right there. Is that not a beautiful, beautiful scene here in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Amazing.
2-2 from Johnson. And that one is foul tipped off of Gordon's mitt. It just popped out. He could not squeeze it. That would have been the second out. So Iredale with another chance here.
I love the
Aussie. Oop, go ahead,
I was going to say, Fitzy, I love the way the Razorbacks are fouling off pitches, especially with 2 strikes. That's their 16th of the game already.
This one's flared over to Schaffner at short. That is the second out. Bobby, no Arkansas hitter has struck out yet.
Right.
So everything in play outside of the walks, but there are 2 gone here.
So there's 3 plays in baseball. The best play in baseball, that are the best plays in baseball. You've got home runs, right? You've got a 2-strike hit. You've got a 2-strike foul ball. The 2-strike hit's devastating. You make a good pitch, you got him to 2 strikes, and then you can finish the hitter off. 2-strike foul ball, almost as bad as that because you just foul off their best pitch to live for another, to get a better pitch in a better spot to drive.
Reese Robinette comes up empty there. You're saying there's a little bit of a psychological hit during those sequences as well for a pitcher?
Yeah, it's 16 already, and this 16 foul balls.
Yeah, for Arkansas. Yep.
Yes.
Reese Robinette trying to plate a 2-out run, and so he will see an 0-2 pitch in a moment. Robinette, redshirt sophomore from Missouri. He's gotten a lot more playing time down the stretch of this season. He's played 10 in a row now. Only 44 at-bats on the season, but he's been a fixture in the lineup coming down the home stretch. Kojal at second. That one's misses badly, high and away. Arkansas has scored runs in every inning. It's got the 4-2 lead over the Summit League champs, playing in another SEC stadium. Kojal that time snags it before it gets into center.
Had a little set play right there, no-look timing pick with the shortstop Schaffner.
Robinette waves and misses, and that's the first strikeout for Nolan Johnson. Arkansas adds another. Its lead is 2 runs. Opening round, first game of the day of this regional round in Fayetteville. Arkansas scored runs in every frame, so it's a 4-2 lead for one of the best teams in the SEC. So North Dakota State, they scored a run in the first and the second, and they will be back at the plate here in the fourth. We'll face Aiden Jimenez again. So we say hello for the first time to Tyler Oakes. There's the fourth-year boss at Fargo. Coach, thanks for taking a moment to do this. It was quite a spirited run down the stretch of the season last week in Omaha. How did this team get it done and punch its ticket to the postseason?
Pitching and defense. Obviously, Nolan, they've made him work here today, but he's done a great job all year for us and Summit League Pitcher of the Year, and done a great job of just continuing to go out and at least give us chances in the game like he's got to keep doing here.
Coach, I love your approach at the plate so far in this game. Give me your reflections on the walks, on a guy that's a strike thrower. You guys are really hanging in there and driving the ball through the middle of the field. I like it.
Yeah, our guys have done a good job of sticking to the game plan and finding ways to get on base and taking some good swings with runners in scoring position too. And that's something that we'll need to keep doing throughout. Obviously, they have a talented pitching staff. Jimenez is doing a good job of settling in here a little bit, and then their offense keeps scoring and we give them a lead, so we need to keep putting the pressure on them.
Well, Coach, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for doing this.
I got to give one shout out. My wife graduates law school tomorrow, so I got to give a shout out to her for everything that she's accomplished.
Way to
that's
go.
Good. What's
yes.
her name, by the way?
Ingrid.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Ingrid, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, nice for you to do that.
Impressive.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it, guys.
That's a lot of hours.
Yes.
A lot of law school hours
Wow.
there. He's the 38-year-old from outside of Minneapolis.
Comes from a baseball family. Dad was a long-time Big Ten coach, pitching coach for the Minnesota Gophers.
I know you wish you knew that yesterday. You could have talked about your law degree.
With my law degree.
Alex Erlob.
Hey, I do have a
Takes
master's
that
degree
pitch.
now, Fitzy. Come
I
on
know.
now.
Well, you're one step ahead of me. I'm lacking in that category.
Outstanding young coach right there.
Absolutely, and it was really great to visit with him and his players. This is a group that is so focused on, and they used a phrase, hey, we want to end the stigma. Sure, we play baseball up in the north, Fargo, North Dakota State. We only played 12 home games. But one thing that you will learn about this team, if you watch them, they battle. And so, Bobby, they get off to the 1-13 start. Remember, they're playing every game away from home. At Alabama, at LSU, at Oklahoma State, etc. They finished the year very strong. And all of those challenging early season games prepared them for the tournament run last week and for a moment like today. Is there going to be a play here? That one is off the padding down the right field line, so Maxwell could not get to it.
Only 12 home games. Can you imagine that? Only 12 home games. That's tough. So you look at the record, it really doesn't reflect the quality of this program and where it's at right now. Because of the schedule, you're always on the road, you're on a plane. It's tough. Now, I will say their brand new $54 million indoor facility has really helped this program prepare for that schedule.
3-2 pitch to Erlob is slashed into center, so that's a base hit. He's been on base twice today. That'll bring up Luis Garcia, number 9 hitter.
Good looking swing. We get back to that $54 million facility. It's almost 2 years old for football and then all the athletic department. They were talking about sim games they can play in that full infield. They can hit in there. They can do live stuff. The only thing they can't do is take fly balls, but other than that, they're playing a full game. It's better, they said, than most NFL indoor facilities.
It's impressive. And you know just how critical having access to that is for a cold weather program. They used to just be in a bubble, but now having this indoor facility, game changer. So Garcia, remember, doubled his last time up. He was stranded in scoring position back in the second. And looked to square that time, pulled it back, and so the count evens. That's foul down the line. NDSU, Bobby, has had opportunities in every inning. Had runners on in every frame against Jimenez, scored in the first 2. Bison down 2 in this very important opening round game at the Fayetteville Regional. Remember, Creighton and Kansas play later today, so those are our 4 teams in Fayetteville this weekend. Davalon charging, not going to have a chance to get to that one. That's foul down the line. Parker Coyle getting ready. He was up there, he was up and throwing some pitches an inning ago. Now, remember, for Jimenez, this is 62 pitches. That is a season high for him. Longest outing for Jimenez, 4 1/3 this year.
Yeah, big arm right there for the Hogs. Getting hot in the pen.
1-2. That one's lifted to shallow right. Maxwell has it lined up, so you got 2 outs. So Jimenez would love to get through with this top half of the 4th. You got Jake Schaffner coming up. Remember, they intentionally walked him last time he stepped up the plate to load the bases. And so here comes Dave Van Horn. He will make that move. So Parker Coyle will come in to face the lefty Schaffner. 2 outs in the 4th. Bison have a runner on. Good stuff from Jimenez. Opening round start. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. High above the Arkansas campus in Fayetteville. Hogs and Bison 1 seed, or the number 3 overall seed, I should say, 1 seed here in our regional pod facing the 4 seed NDSU. Arkansas has scored in every inning. It's got the 4-2 advantage. So Aiden Jimenez, Hog's starter, is done after 3 2/3. And Bobby, in comes very talented left-hander Parker Coyle to face Summit League batting champ.
This is one of their dudes right here. Loves to throw the cutter. Look for that almost 50% of the time. It's a nasty pitch. Elite spin on that pitch. And only 1.06 walks per 9. The standard is 3. This is one of their very, very top relievers.
You see the numbers there, just 2 walks in his 17 innings.
There's that cutter right there. Nasty at 88, 2,700 spin. Quality pitch.
So how will Schaffner handle it? He walked in the first inning against Jimenez and then was intentionally walked a frame later. So he's got a 2-0 and fouls it away. Bison have a runner on. That's Erlob over at first. Down 2. So nearly 4 full for Jimenez today.
The shocking thing with Jimenez today, 1 walk per inning basically, almost 4 innings. So yeah, it's just shocking that he couldn't throw the ball in there at a
Bouncer
high rate.
Over to Kojal at second, so that does retire the side. So Schaffner put it into play, but Arkansas closes the door. We're done with 4. It's been the League of Champions, the SEC. The last 5 national champs have come from the Southeastern Conference. Vandy, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Remember that spirited run to the championship a few years ago? LSU. And then last season we had the All-SEC final in Tennessee, knocking out Texas A&M for the title. 5 in a row and 6 out of the last 7 national champs. 6 different teams as well.
Pretty strong league, I would say.
Yeah, safe to say.
Just means more. The SEC. It's just
Vegas.
a tremendous baseball conference.
Vegas might do SEC or the field, perhaps.
There you go.
1-0 pitch is spoiled foul. Justin Thomas, 9-hitter, back at the plate for Arkansas. 9-1-2. Due up for the Hogs against Nolan Johnson.
Look at that.
You know, in 12 of the 16 reaching the World Series the last 5 years. So that is almost the entirety of your conference at some point being one of the final 8 teams standing the last handful of years. Very impressive. And now, look, Bobby, it's perhaps still a little bit of a sensitive topic around here. You go back to 2018. Arkansas was right there in position. College World Series finals. They beat Oregon State, and they were an out away from closing things out in Game 2. of that finals. Oregon State comes back, they win game 3, and that's history.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we talked to Dave Van Horn, and he mentions we've had immense success in this tournament. You know, we've had some setbacks in this tournament, namely the last couple of years. Oh, by the way, we'll talk to the head man after this frame. Charles Davalon, yep, he's at the plate, takes a strike. But it is very much in his and the staff's eyes that this is perhaps the strongest team in recent years.
Yes.
For a program, remember, that did not make it out of the regional round the last 2 seasons. Still surprising when you think about that today.
This is their most complete team that they've had since that 18 team.
Yep.
In my opinion, this is a team that can win in many different ways: pitching, defense, offense, base running. Very athletic. High skill sets on both sides of the ball.
They have really hit on the first-year transfers. Davalon, an example of that. But they have also recruited so well out of high school. Guy like Helfrich, his second year at the program, stepping into such an elevated role. How about Gage Wood? We'll very likely see him at some point this weekend. He and Zach Root, the 2 aces, if you want to call it that, of this Arkansas staff. So they have one in the transfer portal. They have recruited well from the grassroots standpoint. It's all coming together. And we'll see if they put it together this season. (3-2). That one is bounced right to Schaffner, who is shaded behind that second base bag. Handled it nicely. And there's 2 gone.
Good little snag right there. The one-hander. Got it on a short hop. Showed a nice, strong, athletic arm. It's a good-looking player, man.
He's made a couple of
good-looking player.
Yeah, he's made a couple of nice early stops at short today. And Bobby, by the way, one thing I don't want to overlook or forget to mention. You can see one of the semi-finalists for the Brooks Wallace Award.
Heading to the Cape this summer. One of the top leagues out there.
Oh, yeah.
The top players go there. Probably there are the Northwoods 1-2.
Vahiva Aloy doubled his first time up. Drove in a run with a sacrifice in the second.
Speaking of top players in the nation, this guy's a star right here. All-American last year, SEC Player of the Year this year. Ranks top 10 in every category in this league, the best league in the country. Looks the part and can play it as well.
Big swing and a miss.
Nice changeup right there. Cross count 2-0. The Hawaiian was dead red. Wanted to hit one on the street.
Fouls that one back behind the plate and out of play. The last SEC Player of the Year to wear the Arkansas uniform 10 years ago, Andrew Benintendi. Remember all those great years with the Red Sox? He's with the White Sox now this season. One of the better players in program history. Those are your last 2 SEC Players of the Year.
Benintendi, a World Series champion.
Oh, yeah.
With the Red Sox.
It's a great side-by-side. 2-2 is in there for a called third strike. And so Johnson punches out Aloy. Second strikeout for the lefty. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Johnson. Start of the 5th inning, Arkansas leads at 4-2. Opening round game today against North Dakota State. We got Dave Van Horn. He has been the boss here in Fayetteville for more than 2 decades. Coach, thanks for taking a moment to do this. We were talking with you this week. The 43 wins, 2nd place finish in the SEC, another fine season. You've alluded to the fact that this is pretty much one of your strongest teams in recent years. Why is that? What is it about this group?
Well, it's just because it's well-rounded. I mean, we field the ball well and got good numbers offensively, and we pitch good enough, and we got some power. We got a couple guys that can run. So, you know, we seem to be in most all games.
Coach, love your catcher. Love the athleticism you talked about Helfrich yesterday. Just expand on what he does for your club.
Yeah, he brings a lot. You know, obviously he's a great receiver, blocker, calls a good game, and at the same time, offensively, he can hit for power. He's hitting for average this year as well. And then you saw him steal a base. He can run.
How about a push bunt? Old school right there, Coach.
Yep, nice push bunt off the lefty, kind of falling towards third base. And, we talked about it a little bit. He worked on it. He's good at it, obviously.
Well, he's had a great impact, not just on this game, but all season long, as you mentioned. So, hey, we appreciate you doing this. Good luck the rest of the weekend.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Helfrich it was the push bunt and then the stolen base, and then later came around to score there in the 3rd inning.
And threw a base runner out.
Yep. And so he starts now his first full inning of work, working with the lefty Parker Coyle, who just froze Dante Smith, the freshman, that time. One quick out here in the top half of the 5th.
Yeah, that's nasty right there. That cutter, spin rate over 3,000 RPMs. It's an elite pitch. He throws it almost 50% of the time. And that's just real right there.
So, Bobby, 13 appearances for Coyle this season. And this year it's by far been his most effective season out of the bullpen. Misses downstairs to Davis Hamilton. That's the 3-hitter. Career low 1.59 ERA. He was okay his first couple of seasons. Whole lot of opportunities as a freshman and sophomore. But has taken his game to another level. That's the only thing you can ask is just that development, and we see it with so many players within this program.
I was talking with pitching coach Matt Hobbs, outstanding pitching coach for the Razorbacks. And he had to mention, he goes, it's elite, extreme spin on his cutter. Elite. Gets around it a little bit sometimes. You could call it a slider. He calls it a cutter, tries to throw it as hard as he can. It just explodes on the left-handed hitter and in on a right-handed hitter.
Well, and right there, too. He's got 2 strikes now on Hamilton.
And there it is again at 3,000 plus RPM. There's Matt Hobbs.
There he is.
One of the best in the business.
Sunglasses on top of the cap. Yep. Slow tapper, but that one was off of Hamilton's foot.
Yeah, he's quality. Got a tour of their facility yesterday. They do not call it a pitching lab here.
That's right.
They do not call it a pitching lab.
What is it? What you got?
It's the Pitching Development Center. It's like, we're going to stay away from the lab. This is not an experiment. We're out there getting developed.
Don't call it the lab. It is the
Development Center.
The PDC.
Exactly, the PDC. His players were right there when he was talking about it. They were all laughing. And then the guys we talked to yesterday, same thing. It's a new school, modern, and combination. They're combining new school and old school in there.
Wave and a miss, so 2 gone in the 5th. And there's a couple of strikeouts for Coyle here. He's retired all 3 hitters he's faced. Sam Canton is next.
That's a good located pitch right here. Down and away. 91 mile per hour fastball away from arm side. Hard to hit, especially left on left. But yeah, getting back to that facility, they have all the bells and whistles in that building. And it was an amazing tour in there yesterday afternoon by Coach Hobbs.
Canton knocked in a run, by the way, back in the 1st inning, so he's 2 for 2. Also has got a walk today, so a good day at the plate for Canton. That time was aggressive, going after the first pitch. Well, and so there it is. Yeah, right underneath the seats on the right field wall.
Just walk through their bullpen right there, and underneath they have the cameras, they have the TrackMan data and all that. I mean, it's amazing. The force plates on the pitching mounds you can do. So in the fall, they really hone in on all that mechanical work and try to get better and more sound fundamentally on the mound. And then in the spring, it's more of just a checkup situation. But it's not a lab. It's a pitching development center. Just remember that. He was adamant about that. I love it.
The pitching lab moniker.
He said everybody's got one of those.
Yeah, it's been trendy the last couple of years, of course, around college baseball. And more so just the name, I suppose, is what I'm mentioning. So how do we differentiate?
Well, here's the thing.
We're the PDC.
Right. And here's the thing. Matt was at Wake Forest when the whole pitching lab phenomenon, all that started. He was the pitching coach at Wake Forest, heavily involved in that before it was the trendy thing. He's like, I want to get away from the lab term.
Hops is the innovator.
Yes.
Everywhere he goes. That pitch is in for a strike. There it is. By the way, we're talking about coaches here at Arkansas. Norm DeBrin. He was the iconic former head coach. There's been 2 head coaches here in 60 years. Throw down to second. Runner didn't slide. And Helfrich throws out another. So Coyle does face the minimum. Scoreless top half of the 5th. Good stuff from the lefty. Some early regional games that have gone final here. North Carolina, top 8 national seed, shut out Holy Cross. And then check out these scores, Coach. East Carolina with a big victory over Florida. And then Cincinnati scores 11 runs against Wake Forest for a victory in its opening round game.
Big SEC and ACC teams going down on day 1.
That's going to be a very entertaining regional pot, especially after that first game going final. ECU, Florida in Conway, along with the national seed Coastal Carolina. Start of the 5th inning, 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Hogs. Logan Maxwell faces Nolan Johnson for a 3rd time.
Was on a radio show the other day talking about that regional, talking about East Carolina and Cliff Godwin, the Pirates, all that pressure. Everybody was like the darling of getting to Omaha all those years, and they didn't make it. They still haven't made it to Omaha, and now they were basically an afterthought this year.
There's the first out.
They could make a run.
Well, no better time than right now to remind you, remember, around-the-clock whip-around coverage of this regional round. When you scan that QR code, ESPN, the home to the baseball regionals. You want to get multi-game coverage. Squeeze Play is your one-stop shop to see highlights, live game cut-ins all around the nation. ESPN Plus subscribers, they can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. So I know you got the I got the plus, you got the plus.
I got the
Everybody
plus
get
for
the
sure.
plus.
And then also I want to tune in to see what tie Runes is wearing, how he matches that tie color with his socks. That's his theme, you know. He takes the tie and he matches the color to his socks. That's a big deal there.
This is why you're scanning the QR
Yeah, you
code.
got to get in there and check that out as well.
Do we have a pocket square to go along with it?
Yeah.
I would maybe.
I would hope so. Yeah, he has the matching socks and tie each day.
Can we match the? This is Ryder Helfrich, by the way. 1 for 2 today. Can you match the pocket square with the tie and socks, or is that too much coordination?
That might be overdone.
It's a little too
bit.
much. Sometimes you can go contrasting colors with the pocket square.
We'll have to call Mike Rooney and find out, or take a look on squeeze play. Check out the sequence.
So, for around the clock, and whip around coverage, and also sartorial refinement, make sure to go check out squeeze play.
We were talking at dinner last night. Who knows college baseball more than Mike Rooney? And that guy's an encyclopedia of the United States college baseball situation.
Just
no
coast to coast.
It's unbelievable.
See what Johnson has here for Helfrich. 2-2 coming. And he went up in the zone, fouls it back. So we're into the 5th inning now. Nolan Johnson, Summit Pitcher of the Year, surrendered a couple of runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but then he went 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. Bobby, he's now retired 6 in a row.
Done a much better job with his fastball location later in this game, especially in on right-handed hitters.
2-2 is stung hard, but right to the very good defensive shortstop. That's Schaffner, and he got 2 out. By the way, not 1, but 2 Arkansas icons. There is the great one there, John Daly, and his son, by the way, on the golf team. So they are
legend.
Oh, yeah.
He can hit a golf ball a long way. Kind of ahead of his time, right? Trendsetter several years ago. Now they all bomb it like he does.
I think they knew where the camera was. Hello.
Yeah, they did.
The father and son. That's into center, a base hit. So Kuhio Aloy with his first hit of the afternoon. That was that looked like one of my par 3 tee shots. Just kind of line drive right there into center field.
a little change up out over the plate. Serves it TTM through the middle. Try to pull that ball. It's a ground ball to third base. Roll over. Good hitting.
Two-out base runner for the Hogs. Cam Kojal takes that one up and in. Kojal's been productive. 2 hits, and he's knocked in a run each time at that double in the 3rd. But that was Arkansas's last run. Johnson would certainly love 2 consecutive scoreless innings here. Swung at. This one is drilled. Back to the wall and right, and it's gone! Kojal goes yard.
Baseball's all about 2-strike hitting and 2-out hitting, especially with men in scoring position, men on base. You get a 2-out RBI, a huge momentum switch right there for the Razorbacks. Big knock. Watch it right here. It's up in the strike zone. A breaking ball hanging on the inner half, and that's how you do it. You pull it in the air with backspin. Coles would hit it like he knew it was coming.
Another blast for Kojal. He's got 30 extra base hits this year, and it's a 4 RBI day for the second baseman. 6-2 Arkansas.
He's seeing Johnson well, that's for sure.
Triple shy of the cycle now. 1-0 pitch to Brent Iredale. That one is down and away.
And that was a clinic on off-speed hitting that inning so far with 2 outs. Think about it. A changeup hit through the middle of the field, and then a hanging breaking ball in the inner half pulled in the air with backspin for power.
2-0, that's lifted back to deep right. It's got some carry to it, but Smith has enough room. Arkansas extends its lead. Cam Kojal goes yard, and it's 6-2. Arkansas just plated a couple more runs in the bottom half of the 5th. Cam Kojal, red hot start to this weekend. His 2-run blast has extended the Hogs' lead to 4 runs now over the Summit League champs, North Dakota State. And so the Bison are back at the plate. The question is, will they crack the Parker Coyle code? Colton Becker.
I like that. The Coyle
took
code.
a strike there to start the 6th. Becker's had a great day. Solo blast over that same right field wall that Kojal cleared, and he singled in the 3rd. But again, this is his first at-bat against this very effective left-hander.
That cutter slider is elite. Again, spinning it up there at plus 3,000 RPMs.
Called 3rd strike at the letters. 3rd punch out for Coyle. Bobby's only faced 5 hitters.
Yeah, he throws it in there with some good stuff. Nasty, nasty breaking ball, cutter, and then a fastball painted right here at 92 at the top, away from arm side quadrant of the strike zone. Anything you can do with that pitch left on left is foul it off.
Noah Gordon, that's the catcher from Rogers, Minnesota. He bats next. Squares, bounces it, going up that first base side. Nobody's covering, and so Coyle does the tumble to field it. But that is the second time we have seen that. The push bunt up the first base line for a clean single.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've done almost 30 games this year, and this is the first two push
you've
bunts
seen?
that I've seen.
No better
from right-handed hitters.
Yeah, than in the postseason.
Yes. Really cool play right here. Once you get it, try to get it past the left-handed pitcher, but once he dives, it's a base hit all the time.
And it's both catchers that get it done.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Blake Timmons 0 for 2 today. But you can really put the defense in a compromising spot when it's placed properly down the line. So NDSU has had base runners on in now all 6 innings, hits in all 6 innings. They have not scored since that 2nd frame. Bobby, they went 20 and 32 this year. They played so many tournament teams, SEC teams, and a lot of the games they played were away from home. Matter of fact, about 75% of their schedule was away from home. So it's always a challenging start to the season. What's more important is their finish to the year. Had a strong end to the season. And then handed the #1 overall seed in the Summit League tournament a pair of losses last week to punch its ticket to the regional. 1-1, that is ripped out to center field, and Thomas has it for the 2nd out. So this is the challenging slate. That's 11 games they have played, okay, against tournament teams.
Look at that. That'll get you ready, and it did. It got them ready for their Summit League championship, the tournament championship. Yes, their record is well under 500. I get that, but the tough schedule is what matters. That's why they're here, and they're playing a competitive game right now against the Razorbacks.
Coyle faces Alex Erlob, one of just the 2 right-handed hitters in the lineup. It's in for a strike. I want to go back to Coyle really quickly. You're talking about his spin rate.
Yes.
3,000. Put that into context. What's really good? Here comes the 0-1.
So average spin rate on a breaking ball, cutter, stuff like that, slider, is around 2,500 in the big leagues. 24.5 to 2,500 in the big leagues.
The bigs, yeah.
And he's at a 3,000 plus spin rate. That's extreme. That's elite.
Erlob just got a piece of that one, so he keeps the at-bat alive. Coyle, the junior from Edmond, Oklahoma. 0-2. Swing and a miss, inning over.
There it is again.
4 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings.
bouncing around from site to site right here on Squeeze Play Live. If there are home runs or big plays, you will not miss.
Let's lose our minds.
Well, that's one way to get the party started.
That's a bad flip. Get used to that this weekend. This is your one-stop shop for everything Road to Omaha.
Squeeze Play on ESPN Plus all weekends. Round the clock, live coverage from every regional site. The crew will take you there, so make sure you check it out at some point this weekend. So, back here in Fayetteville, Bobby, Arkansas, the number 3 overall seed in the field, has a 6-2 advantage. Nolan Johnson, the Bison starter, is out. So here comes Landon Koenig. He is the is the first pitcher out of the pen for the Bison.
Big arm for the Bison right here, 91 to 95. Lots of fastball usage. Almost 70% of the time he'll throw a fastball.
43 2/3 innings this year. And he faces 8, 9, and 1 in the Arkansas order. That is Reese Robinette, Justin Thomas, Charles Davalon. Arkansas has scored in just about every inning. They were held off the scoreboard just once. That was the 4th. Robinette waves and misses, so the count evens.
Fitzy, a huge differential between right-left. The splits, 236 left-handed hitters versus Koenig. Righties hitting 358.
He's from Portland, North Dakota. Very small town of maybe 1,000 people. That's it. Little north of Fargo. Pitching on the big stage here. 1-2 pitch. He gets Robinette to chase it up in the zone, and there's one gone. Nice start.
Elevated fastball at 95 miles per hour. Watch it right here. It's hard to hit up there with that kind of life and that ride, that carry. And again, left-handed hitters really struggling off Koenig. This season just showed why right there.
He was big in that Summit League tournament. Pitched against Oral Roberts, 3 very important innings. On that tournament, or I should say on that championship Saturday. Has taken a massive step forward in his sophomore season. Pitcher of the year in the Summit League, 5 innings, allowed the 6 earned. Threw more than 100 pitches. We saw some good. We saw Arkansas, though, put the ball into play against him often.
I was impressed with the way he competes.
Yes.
Just didn't have the stuff to put away the Razorback hitters. Other than that, 2 walks in the zone, very competitive, loved his body language, left-handed, throws in on righties. This guy's got a bright future.
1-2, that is hit hard on the ground to Schaffner. So 2 quick outs.
Gosh, I love Schaffner at shortstop. He can play the game. His hands are outstanding, fundamentally sound. He's a good-looking athlete out there.
Very smooth sophomore who, we showed you the numbers, hit close to 400 this year. From Janesville, Wisconsin.
Yeah, big Packers fan. We talked to him yesterday. Huge Packers fan. Janesville, Wisconsin, about 25 minutes from where my sister lives.
Is that Milwaukee area?
Yeah,
is that
like
right?
a little bit west of there.
Yeah.
Lake Geneva, Lake Delavan, Janesville, south of Madison. Know it well.
You been out on the lakes in the summer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Everybody from the Chicago area goes there to play on the weekends.
That's
man.
where it is.
Wisconsin for sure.
Charles Davalon 2 for 3 today.
Yeah, Janesville's a nice area where he's from, but I'll tell you what, somebody's getting a really nice player in the Cape Cod League this summer with Schaffner.
You know, by the way, so a whole lot of there is an international flavor, okay, around this park. The Canadian flags for Davalon is from Montreal. Waves and misses at the breaking pitch there. French Canadian, went to French-speaking, grammar school. The Hawaiian flags, as we have pointed out previously.
Aussie as well.
That's right, and Australia.
That's right. That's right. International flair here in Fayetteville,
Yes,
Arkansas.
Many nations represented here. Oh, that's a good one there. Yep, with the Canadian.
Nice.
Got the Canadian flag ready to go. 2-2 is fouled away. Yeah, there's the maple leaf.
Oh yeah.
Two. It's in the air, down the line. Maybe a play for Hamilton. And he makes the catch. After a baseball fell out of the stands in front of him, he reaches over and somehow makes the play. Wow, great stuff from Hamilton.
He almost steps on the baseball right here. Check it out. Baseball has to get around that.
It's this one.
And then makes the play.
Six-2 lead for Arkansas. Start of the seventh. You got to bring the tanning oil, sunscreen there when you're out and left. By the way, look at this play. A fan drops a baseball, okay, as Davis Hamilton goes to make the over-the-railing catch for the final out in the bottom half of the sixth inning. So he avoids that loose baseball. It just popped accidentally out of a youngster's mitt there onto the field. Yeah.
Tremendous concentration. He had to tiptoe over the baseball, not sprain his ankle, and then make the play. If you notice, the young fan had two baseballs in his glove. He dropped one, and then he still had another one in his glove from earlier today. He's trying to get a third, I guess.
Well, you lose one. I guess you still have one you can bring home.
There he is.
Just a weird moment. Luis Garcia, by the way, is the leadoff hitter for the Bison. So I think the youngster there was getting ready to maybe make a catch.
And he got an
Hamilton
elbow.
said, I don't think so.
He got an elbow from the fan sitting next to him that knocked the ball onto the field.
Everything looked just accidental there, that's all.
And he was actually drinking a water or holding a water at the same time, so pretty talented in the stands from the little man.
Ambidextrous, evidently. 2-2 is yanked foul. That one's into the Bison dugout.
Watch out. That came in there hot.
Nevertheless, really nice play made by the, and again, a lot of ballparks, most ballparks you see now, you might have the netting going all the way down almost to the foul poles. That one's tipped back to the screen. And here at Bob Walker Stadium, Hamilton, or any outfielder, corner infielder, you can make that over the padding catch. essentially anywhere past the dugouts. 2-2 to Garcia, who's hitting on the right side for the first time today. And there's one gone. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites. It continues tomorrow and this weekend on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. So for more information, visit ncaa.com. Chicken's ready? A little barbecue chicken, do I see?
Something going on out there.
Now, I like it a little crispy. You know, let it sit on the grill for. You don't have to pull it off immediately. Leadoff hitter now, it's Jake Schaffner. He's made a couple of great defensive plays. Looking for his first hit. Bobby drew 2 walks, and he grounded out his 3rd time up in the 4th. The Bison bats have got to get going. So think about it. Parker Coyle, when he came out of the bullpen, first hitter he faced was Schaffner. So he has faced 1 through 9 in the order. No runs. He's allowed just 2 hits. He struck out 4 once through.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He is the real deal. Strike thrower, averaging a little bit over 1 walk per 9. The standard is 3. And with that nasty stuff, that's a hard formula to hit.
So for Coyle, Bobby, he's about to throw his 40th pitch. Most pitches thrown in an outing this year. This is his longest outing overall now that he has recorded an out here in the 7th. Schaffner somehow is able to top that to keep the at-bat alive.
Schaffner's just a really good-looking player. From the left side, plays shortstop, very athletic.
Just a sophomore. The league's batting champ, hit .384 this year. And by the way, with only 1 fielder on the left side, that little half swing, he put it into play, but that's the 2nd out.
Did put it into play, but that's that nasty 82 mile per hour, 3,050 RPM spin breaking ball. That's a tough pitch. If that was a wood bat, that'd be in 2 pieces right now.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Great stuff today from Coyle. It was Jimenez who started, gave up the 2 earned runs. But for Coyle, it's now officially 3 scoreless. Would be 3 1/3 if he shuts the door here in the 7th. Dante Smith hitless today. He struck out twice. We talk at length about Arkansas's very prolific offense. It's a deeper pitching staff this year. By the way, there's Zach Root, who is on Jimenez's right. We'll see him very likely, you would think, on the mound this weekend. That is through the middle and a base hit for Smith. So a 2-out base runner for the Bison.
Perfectly placed. Wasn't hit hard. Right through the middle. Just snuck in there for a base hit.
Past a couple of diving hogs. And so Matt Hobbs is on the mound now, just to have a quick word with the infield and Coyle. So remember, this is just the first of 2 games today. This is our Fayetteville Regional Pod. 4 teams. We will whittle it down to a regional final champ. Only 1 team will be left standing after the weekend. So the winner of this first game will play the winner of Kansas and Creighton. That is later today. First pitch, 8 Eastern. Bobby, it's very simple. Double elimination format. You can lose 1 game and potentially win a regional. You lose twice, you're out, eliminated, season over. And it favors so much the teams that win the first game today.
Look at that young fan.
It's a warm day. I think there was an icy going on there. I think she's got the cherry icy.
Having a good time.
That's that is a wise choice. Warm, sunny Friday afternoon.
Beautiful.
It will be a packed house all weekend. Every time Arkansas is on the field, always is. This is Davis Hamilton, who, by the way, made that nice catch over the railing down the third base line half inning ago. One of their very reliable hitters, a .310 average, but he's 0 for 3 today. (1-1), that is stung into center. Thomas has it lined up, inning over. Parker Coyle has logged 3 1/3 scoreless innings. He's been excellent out of the pen. Vahiva Aloy, the catalyst for Arkansas for several seasons, and this year he has taken his game to another level. One of the most dangerous bats in America. Was named the SEC Player of the Year last week ahead of the SEC tournament. And there is a great anticipation every time he steps up to the plate. And according to our draft expert, Kylie McDaniel, bona fide first rounder next month.
No doubt. No doubt. An All-American already, will be again and a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award. It's like the Heisman of college baseball.
Yep. Yeah, he's been a supernova this year. Waves and misses at that pitch from Landon Koenig, who's out on the mound for his second inning of work. And you see this moniker all over the place. They refer to him as the prized one. Okay, in Hawaiian, that's what his first name translates to. Living up to the reputation. That pitch is up high.
.93 up and in. Little chin music.
1-2 on the way. And he fouls that away. And so, Bobby, this time, North Dakota State with 3 fielders, yeah, on the left side of the diamond.
Yeah, selling out to the pull side right there. We talked about his oppo power. That's in the air. He hits the ball to the backside for extra base hits. If it's on the ground, it's going to be pulled.
Swings and hits it into that shift. This is Schaffner. And so there's 1 out, and Koenig has retired all 4 hitters that he's faced. ESPN, remember, is home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. And so for the around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scan that QR code below. It'll take you to ESPN's Squeeze Play. As you mentioned before, Matt Schick, Chris Budden, Chris Burke, Mike Rooney, they're going to take you around the nation, coast to coast, to all the best live action. We have seen, quad boxes, octo boxes. I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
I think so, yeah.
But it's a great place to just get a little snapshot of everything going around the country. It's 64 teams, Bobby. They start their postseason journey today. So we will whittle the field down by the end of the weekend to 16 teams. A lot of games, a lot of great action. This is the number 3 hitter, Logan Maxwell. So here comes the 1-1 on the way. It's
Squeeze
upstairs.
play, everything you want to know and see about college baseball in the NCAA tournament. Everything.
Well, here's what I want to ask you, because you did it at Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Western Carolina, where you were the head man for many, many years. A weekend like this, how do you approach it? From a player perspective, as a top seed, as an underdog, what is critical when you're trying to avoid losing twice in a double elimination format?
Been in both of those roles. Been a 4 seed in the tournament, been a 1 seed in the whole tournament. They're 2 totally different expectations. The 1 seed, a lot of pressure, right? To get to Omaha. You are the 1 seed nationally among every team in this tournament. You got to keep your feet on the ground. You got to take it 1 pitch at a time. You got to enjoy playing baseball and just have fun, have a blast. That's what it's all about. If you try to take it too serious, then you're having a problem. Then
Sure.
you run into those roadblocks mentally. So breathe, 1 pitch at a time, and have fun playing baseball like when you were 6.
Ryder Helfrich, who's been productive today, takes a strike. Can't look ahead, can't get ahead of yourself, regardless of the opponent. Counts 0-2.
Well, 05, we were the number 1 seed in the whole tournament. Georgia Tech, associate head coach there for Danny Hall, the legendary. He's going to retire right now, this year actually, after hopefully Omaha for Coach Hall.
Right.
And have them make a run at the Ole Miss Regional.
That's hit hard. That's past Hamilton. Base hit for Ryder Helfrich. So 2-out base runner for Arkansas.
That ball was smoked. But that 2005 team was part of a 25 straight ACC win brigade. I mean, it was crazy. 25 straight ACC wins.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was like a 2-year period, but still, it was like 20 straight. In that year, number 1 overall seed, swept the ACC tournament, pretty much swept the league, and did not go to Omaha. And then 06, you come back, and you're not supposed to go to Omaha, and you do. And that's how it works sometimes. You got to get your heart teared out of your body, have that adversity, and then you get to Omaha to compete for a national championship.
Not an easy game.
No, it isn't.
This baseball thing. First pitch is in for a strike to Kuhio Aloy. Is there a common denominator, though, in terms of the DNA of a team that reaches Omaha?
I think it's players that want to play. They love the game of baseball. They love competing. And, hey, let's just be honest. You have to have great talent, great players, and even better people. I think the people part is a little bit undervalued in baseball at sometimes. It's about the people, the relationships. That's what goes all the way. It's not necessarily the best. It's about the people.
Hey, nice inning here, Bobby, for Koenig. Strikes out Aloy. That's 2 scoreless innings for the big righty. Back at Baum Walker Stadium, regional has begun in Fayetteville. Entertaining start to this one. First of 2 games today. Arkansas with the advantage over North Dakota State. 6-2 the score. They call that the hog pen. And I think for several days you had fans lined up outside the stadium. Some fans. Making sure that they would be the first ones along the railing there when the gates opened today.
Was texting with fellow ESPN employee Taylor McGregor, Razorback alum, and she said it's hog-noxious out there. That's what she said. And that's a common theme for that area. Hog-noxious.
Parker Coyle is out. Landon Beitelshees, the junior, is on the mound now, Bobby, for the start of the 8th.
Yeah, another power arm for the Razorbacks. 91-94 strike thrower. 3.13 walks per 9. Short arm action, and the ball really gets on you. A lot of fastball usage right here.
Kendall Diggs, by the way, comes into play right for Logan Maxwell. That one catches the inside corner for a strike.
See that short circle on the backside? Kind of gets it up to his ear and then just darts it in at 92 miles an hour. It's a quick arm. See guys throw like that, Fitzy, the ball really gets on you. It gets a lot of spin, a lot of carry, a lot of ride. Looks like it's jumping out of a cannon at you.
1-2 pitch to Sam Canton. That is sliced foul. So it's 4, 5, and 6-2 up for North Dakota State. And they are running out of outs now.
Look at that.
One-two pitch on the outside corner for a called 3rd strike. Canton is down, 1 away in the 8th.
Boy, that's a quick arm right there. It just comes out. Watch this short circle in the backside. Boom, it's on you. Before you know it, you're frozen. You're walking back to the dugout. Very impressive pitch.
First season in an Arkansas uniform. He started 12 games this year, so he's been a reliable starter for the Hogs. Colton Becker takes that pitch in the dirt. Bobby, he came over from Ohio State, spent the last 2 seasons pitching for the Buckeyes, was a starter last year, good numbers. This year got a little better. Count evens at 1 apiece.
He's got a nice little sweeper slurver right there. Throws it at about 80 to 82 miles an hour. Nice little strike pitch, left on left, with a Razorback left-hander.
And he chases that one in the dirt.
It's almost 9 inches of horizontal break across the plate.
Good luck picking that one up. This one is topped foul. Remember, North Dakota State, they scored 2 runs. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Nothing since. One-two. That's outside. And they really struggled against the lefty Coyle. Just 3 hits and 3 1/3 against Mr. Spin Rate. And really good stuff.
Yeah, he's nasty.
2-2. That's there. Called 3rd strike. 2 away.
Same exact pitch as the last at bat. Left on left, away from arm side, fastball. Carved away. Watch this in the lower quadrant. Perfect pitch. Presented very well. Man, that's hard to hit.
Now Noah Gordon's turn. Slaps that one off the end of the bat. That's foul. He's 1 for 3 today.
Helfrich can really receive back there as well. I mean, it's easy when you're dotting your fastball and carving it up like that, but he gives the umpire a really good look on fastballs that he catches. Watch right here if he gets one.
Now this should be a 1-2-3 inning for Beitelshees. And so Arkansas is now just 3 outs away from starting this regional 1-0. Look who's coming up in the bottom half of the 8th. It's Kojal. So this is our Capital One rewarding performance. Cam Kojal with a 3 for 3, 4 RBI day. His latest big blast, the 2-run shot over the right field wall in the 5th. And so Bobby is digging in here, triple shy of the cycle in this opening round game. Arkansas has the 6-2 lead. That's most important. But here he goes against Landon Koenig.
He's been seeing it really well today.
Takes that for a strike. All conference season for the sophomore from Omaha. So since 1994, no Arkansas players have hit for the cycle in the NCAA tournament.
Interesting.
It's been a little while.
I'll tell you what, we'll see how well he's truly seeing the ball today, because Koenig is excellent against left-handed pitching. He has been so far. Opponents hitting low 200s this season.
He's only allowed, he's only allowed the 1 hit in 2 innings against Arkansas. And he has faced just about everybody now. And he gets Kojal to chase the fastball up in the zone. Foul tips it into the mitt. He's got 3 punch-outs.
That pitch from anywhere from 92 to 95 miles per hour up in the strike zone. Watch this carry. It looks juicy, and then it's hard to hit at the letters right there. You just swing right underneath it. And the ball looks like it's at your belt, and it just stays true. It stays with carry. And boy, it's hard to hit.
Nevertheless, a really fine day at the plate for Kojal. Brent Iredale, hitless today. He has flown out 3 times. He's the Australian. Very patient hitter this year. Drew 41 walks. Fouls that one out of play down the right field line. And so, Bobby, now you start to think, all right, what's next? Here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Arkansas has a, call it, comfortable 4-run lead. They're 3 outs away from knocking North Dakota State to the elimination side of this bracket. 0-2. That one falls through the zone. So important to get the upper hand, win this first game. And so if Arkansas closes the door in the 9th, it faces the winner of our next game. That's Creighton and Kansas. Big East champs and an excellent Big 12 program. Check swing. He did not offer.
And if they do close this game out, Coach Van Horn, watch it right here. No, he did not. He'd be very happy with the way he used his pitching today, his bullpen doing the job, setting it up for their #1 starter probably tomorrow.
It's bouncing ball to the left side, and Hamilton handles it. So it's 2 gone in this 8th. You know, Coyle and Beitelshees, the 2 relievers that Van Horn and the staff used, did not walk a single hitter. Now, it was Jimenez who walked a couple of batters in his 3 2/3 innings of work. But after Coyle came on, 0 walks issued. So they were efficient, they were reliable, and so 3 outs away now from getting to that game tomorrow, which will be the battle of the winners from today.
And Coyle only throwing 49 pitches can bounce back on Sunday, you would think, for the Razorbacks. And that's a huge, huge advantage right there for a Van Horn team that needs their best guys available in order to win this regional.
Sunday
sets up perfectly for them.
Sunday, of course, that's our regional final. And is it going to be the first of maybe 2 regional final games here at Fayetteville? Who knows? 2-0 to Reese Robinette. Bounces that foul. Breaking pitch in for a strike. Arkansas at this ballpark a year ago did not reach the regional final. 2 years ago, lost to the regional final here. And so this, taking care of business today, very important for what lies ahead for one of the best programs in America now for going on a decade. Payoff pitch. He did not go, and so a 2-out walk for Robinette. Justin Thomas will hit next.
That was a rare changeup right there, a little semi-changeup, 87 miles per hour, maybe a little splitty, take a little bit off. They call it a BP fastball, trying to get the hitter to roll over, and missed with it. That's the first one he's thrown today. Loves the fastball in on left-hand hitters and going up in the zone. Couldn't afford to do that. If he takes it, it'd be a walk. Good at bat. Good at bat by Robinette, extending the inning.
He's drawn now 2 walks. Arkansas as a team has walked 3 times. Thomas grounded out back in the 6th. He flew out to right in the 4th. That one gets by the catcher. So now you've got another insurance run. Potential one in scoring position.
Now remember, we talked about this earlier, Koenig is outstanding against left-handed hitters, only hitting in the low 200s. Right-handed hitters hitting almost 360 against the right-hander. Totally different deal here versus a right-handed hitter.
Koenig coming home. That one misses down and away.
Thomas in a hitter advantage count. Already hitting .304 with runners in scoring position, and now he's in a 3-ball count in his favor.
Outside corner for a strike. That's topped foul. This North Dakota State team, the Summit champs. Again, they allowed 6 runs to Arkansas the first 5 innings, but this is close to perhaps 3 straight scoreless frames. While they're on the wrong end of that score, this gritty group has displayed a whole lot of positive things today. That is pulled foul.
Definitely want to keep it at 4, not let it get any more. Baseball's all about 2s and 5s. The 2 takes away the 1 swing home run to tie the ball game up. If you get 4 or get 5 up, now it's 1 swing grand slam cannot tie the game up. So this is a huge moment right here for both clubs to keep it at 4 or go ahead to 5.
Payoff. It's popped up foul. Maybe a play. Erlob near the dugout. He's got it. And so Koenig has logged 3 scoreless innings. His team is on the wrong end of the 6-2 score. They've got a rally in the 9th. Arkansas, the number 3 overall seed in the field, did its damage early. Takes the 6-2 lead to the 9th. Tournament regulars looking for their 9th straight opening round win today against North Dakota State. If they do hang on to win, it would face either Kansas or Creighton, the winner of that one later. And they would meet at 9 Eastern time tomorrow night right here at Bob Walker Stadium. And so if you're in that game, you're 1 win away from advancing to the regional final, where you have the major upper hand.
No question.
Yep, over your counterpart. It is 7, 8, and 9 for the Bison. One last chance here in the 9th. Remember, they had a 1-0 lead. The game was tied 2-2 after an inning and a half, but they have not scored since that 2nd inning. That pitch is bounced up the middle, and that's a base hit for Timmons. So the Bison have the leadoff runner on in their opening game. First hit of the day for the redshirt freshman from Solon, Iowa.
Another perfectly placed 73-mile-per-hour barreled baseball up the middle. I mean, just you couldn't place it any better. Like a little chip shot through the middle.
Goes down as the hit nonetheless. Alex Erlob to hit. They're working against the lefty Landon Beitelshees, who went 1-2-3 in the 8th inning out of the bullpen.
And if you're the Bison right here, you just want base runners. You want to load the bases up like we talked about. A 5 spot keeps you away from that 1 swing grand slam to tie the baseball game.
Runner on the move, and that time Helfrich doesn't even give him a look. Timmons into scoring position.
But they're looking for base runners. Base runners, base runners, base runners. And then a few knocks to get back in this game, at least tied, and keep it moving forward.
This is a good start. Check swing, he definitely did not offer, so the count's a ball and 2 strikes. Count evens, 2 balls and 2 strikes. North Dakota State, again, in just its 3rd NCAA tournament. They won a game in this regional round 4 years ago, but that was in an elimination game. Runner on the move, gets away from the catcher, Helfrich. Recovers it now, and so the Bison, they've got a man 90 feet away.
And the Razorbacks are just playing defense. They're not concerned with the running game here. Just trying to play defense and counting outs. 3 outs away from victory.
Wave and a miss, and there's 1 gone. 3 strikeouts for the big left-hander.
It's a 92-mile-per-hour fastball up in the strike zone with that short arm, getting carry and ride. Almost impossible to get on top of that pitch. I've seen a lot of that today, those fastballs that ride up in the strike zone. That's the modern game. Your lane has to be down. Cannot swing at something that is straight and firm up off arms like this.
Timing Long, the pinch hitter. .28 at-bats this year for Long. That's it.
Does not have a hit against left-handed pitching yet this season.
He's only got 1. And so he is in the box here trying to extend this game for North Dakota State.
37 plate appearances against lefties. Still looking for that first knock.
Beitelshees fires. That's fouled back, so the count evens.
Good looking hack right there.
Last time he was at the plate, Long that is, almost 4 weeks ago. 2-2. Wave and a miss, and there's 2 gone.
A lot of depth. A lot of depth on that slider at 83 miles per hour.
That's 11 total strikeouts now for Arkansas pitchers. Jimenez, Coyle, and Beitelshees. Well, here's the batting champ. Schaffner waves and misses. Looking to get the rally going. 0-1 coming. Good off speed. Strike away.
Nasty. Getting some chase on that pitch down in the strike zone. We call that tilt on your breaking ball. Depth and tilt.
Beitelshees coming home. 0-2 is popped up. Playable for Iredale. Third baseman has it, and the game is over. Arkansas with the 6-2 win. And it advances to tomorrow's game. It'll face either Creighton or Kansas. And from that point, you're 1 win away from the regional final.
The script for Dave Van Horn played out perfectly today. Did exactly what he wanted. And then Coyle out of the bullpen. His 2 lefties came in and shut down the Bison. Just absolutely shut them down, suffocated their offense. Big win right here in game 1 for the Razorbacks.
Coyle and Beitelshees, they strike out 8 total batters in their nearly 6 full innings. So Arkansas faces the winner of our next game, Creighton and Kansas. First pitch just after 8 Eastern. And you can catch it on the plus. So that does it for us in Fayetteville. Game 1 in the books. For Bobby Miranda and the crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. Arkansas a winner in game 1.